Welcome to Jurassic Park! Y'all, this build was super nostalgic and gave Philip and I the best opportunity to revisit our childhood love of Jurassic Park, rewatch that film as well as 3 other Jurassic World films, and just have an absolute blast building every single detail. If you didn't know, Philip and I are huge movie fans, and movies in particular by Steven Spielberg. That said, we both grew up with a deep love of Jurassic Park and have followed the saga all the way from 1993 to today, through all 6 films as well as the TV shows. Absolutely love this whole world. Throughout the years, we have been collecting and building so many of the Jurassic sets, specifically those that are more like display sets or reference the Jurassic Park film series, so those 3 films in particular, and this one is a perfect addition to our home. You'll see in Philip's office how we have a lot of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World sets on display, as well as out in our living room where this beast is going to live on our living room bookshelf. The set is set number 76968. It has 3,145 pieces and will be available March 12th to LEGO Insiders and March 15th to everybody for the price of $249.99 US dollars or $249.99 euros. LEGO Insiders is a free program that anyone can join. It's essentially LEGO's rewards program. And so if you want to get access to this on March 12th, all you have to do is sign up online to become a LEGO Insider. This set is so sturdy. You can see I'm moving it around and you can see the tails wagging a little bit, right? But it is made in a way that it's not meant to be played with. It's not meant to be like thrown around necessarily. It's really meant for display, but it's built in a way that makes it easy to move and easy to position. So you saw the tail move when I was picking it up. You can also articulate the mouth so it can open and close, and the head can move a little bit as well and stays in position because of great Technic parts. Fantastic structural build. It's structurally sound so that you can, again, pick it up here and here and move it around as you need to. And then there's also a fantastic base with 2 of our favorite characters from the film franchise. So we've got Dr. Ellie Sattler and Dr. Alan Grant. They both have great face prints on both sides, fantastic clothing. I think these are both new torso prints as well, with front and back printing too. And you can see the dual color on the arms for Ellie Sattler as well. And then what I love is any of the printed parts, which there are very few, but all of the printed parts are actually printed. They're not stickers. So we get this giant piece that describes all the details of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then also there's a super fun hidden detail when you remove this rock at the front, where you can see another dinosaur fossil, also a printed part. This display stand portion can attach to the front if you remove 2 tiles, and those 2 tiles fit on the back of it, which is great. Or it can be kind of set up and displayed a little bit separately, which is how we'll be doing it on our bookshelf. The final display size is 13 inches tall, or 33 centimeters tall, and from tip of tail to tip of nose, it is 41 inches wide, or 105 centimeters wide. So this is a giant beast of a model and needs a really good display space. In our house, we will be putting it on top of a bookshelf in our living room so that it has its own prominent space, but also so that it can fit. It's very large. We're also going to be displaying it with this portion separate as opposed to attached to it, and that's because with it up so high, we want to make sure that people are able to see all the fun details. As we built this, we watched Jurassic Park, as well as the 3 Jurassic World films. We time-lapse built the entire thing, and so you'll get to see the whole process from start to finish, and I'll be pausing the time-lapse here and there to dive into some fun details either related to the movies that we're watching, or more importantly, related to the portions of the build that we're building as we go. So, without further ado, let's dive in! All right, so let's start by unboxing before we get into the time lapse. I want to show you some of the fun. This is a very, very heavy box. And it's one of those newer boxes that's set up so that you can take the lid off and house everything inside the box. Dinosaur fossils, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Inside, we have a printed info card. Okay, this is awesome. I love that it's not a giant sticker. We've had some of these before where it's this massive sticker and it's very hard to attach effectively, so very happy to see that. I love there's details on how to carry and move the model, because obviously once you have things built, you need to move it around the house. Really appreciate that they were thoughtful about that, because with this size, I'm sure it would break pretty easily. All 25 bags, I'm gonna set these aside and we'll dive right in. One last fun feature, this is instruction book 1, instruction book 2, and instruction book 3. On the backs of them, they all have the same picture, looks like, on the front. So I appreciate there's 3, 2, 1 on the front as well, to make it easy to know where you're beginning. So we finished with bag 1, and I just wanted to highlight one detail. All of this on the side is going to be snot building, so you can see the studs on the sides going up all the way up here too, and it goes all the way around using some brackets and using some snot bricks. And then the interior, the very middle section, hidden underneath all of these plates, is Technic building. So this is really going to make sure that the core of this T-Rex is going to be super strong. And for anybody wanting to know, this is where we're at in the movie. I probably won't stop every bag, but wanted to stop here just to point out the Technic pieces. So let's continue. We have finished bags 1 through 4, and I want to show you this is the base that is going to hold everything very sturdy and make sure that the legs and arms and everything, all of it's going to like float up from here from these 2 poles that are really strong. Everything inside is Technic built and braced on both of these, and then also down here below. Earlier I had said it was the bracing for the T-Rex. What I meant was the bracing for the stand, I guess, for the T-Rex, if you will. I wanted to point out a couple different things. The base is really designed in ways that looks like it's rough terrain, which is fantastic. Also, we get a number of these parts, y'all, these gems that are really, really cool, and they have the colorful reddish orange on the inside. But what's interesting is that transparent element gets hidden over and over again as it goes inward. So we see one here, we see one here. They're all over this whole thing. I want to say there's at least 8 or 10. There might even be 12. Yeah, now that I'm looking around, I see even more. There's also some hidden amber. And then one of my favorite parts, was it this side? No, I think it was the other side. One of my favorite parts is this little hidden gem. Heyo! So cool, and that was a printed part. So we don't have any stickers for this set, which is fantastic. And this was a printed part in bag 4. I was surprised at first that it was hidden, but I also love that it's hidden in a way that's easy to pop off. So you can do your own digging for skeleton bones as you go. So we're going to continue with bag 5. And for anybody paying attention to where we're at in the movie, we just hit the kitchen scene. Whew, she is safe. Made it. Get out of there, Lex. On to our second film of the night. I bet you can't guess what this one is. We are in bag 7. And we started building probably an hour into the first movie. So we're continuing with Jurassic World. We've just started the fossil part of the body that'll go on the stands. Okay, this adorable hidden detail in bag 5 might be my favorite thing so far. That's just so cute. All right, we are finished with bags 5 through 9 and the first 2 pages of bag 10. It's made this whole structure, and we're gonna show you how this connects to the base. So you see this yellow axle and this red axle. We're gonna place it up here, and you see the axle holes that those go into. Let me line that one up effectively. There we go. Philip's got the other one. We pull it down. So now this is super sturdy, y'all. I love to see how this build is coming together. This is the whole kind of main torso of the body. This is the neck, and so we'll see the head here. This will be where one of the large legs comes out, and on the opposite side, of course, the other. And then here's where the tail will attach. Really great techniques so far. I'm gonna talk about some of them that I've seen. First off, great use of jumper plates that help center things as you're going all the way down. And so that is perfect for a build that is kind of symmetrical, where, you know, if you split it in half, it would be perfectly the same on the left and the right. But those jumper plates really help keep everything centered. And then here you can see one of those plates that's basically the size of a 2x3 plate, but the top third of it is that rounded piece with a hole in the middle. That also works well for attaching and securing things in the same way that a jumper plate would. We see a few more of those over here on the edge as well, so we've got 3 of them here. I am guessing that we will likely see an axle go through these, and that's going to attach the tail, and that way the tail can move back and forth. So really, really cool there. The other thing I wanted to point out too is over here we have these attachments for the joints, and so this is going to attach the tail as well. When you're building with a smaller scale, you can use just one, but if you use just one, they do pull apart relatively easily. With the size and scale of this and the weight of it, you need to have 3 total. So I've seen other builds that are not quite as big as this, but still bigger, that use 2, and that's great for stability. But here's an example of where we're seeing it with 3, which obviously is going to make sense for the weight of the whole beast itself. We've also got the ball joints here that are going to touch the legs, so that's probably so that they can articulate and move a little bit too, but those will be pretty sturdy, and I'm assuming there will be other ways that it clips in. These are all really fun, and all, I think 10 of these or 9 of these are at the same angle. This last one is at an ever so slightly different angle, and if you're ever curious about the angles, you can see a little number on the side of them, and those are coded to match up with the different angles that we have. So I think this might need a brand new angle, but I can't remember. I'll have to double check on that one. And then here we've got this unique piece here too, that's very secure and also Technic built in order to attach the head, and I think that'll help the head be able to go up and down. Very, very cool so far. We are almost finished with instruction book 1, which goes bags 1 through 10. And after that, we're gonna eat dinner. But I wanted to show you, of course, we are watching Jurassic World. So we got through Jurassic Park, we started Jurassic World, and we'll probably continue with Dominion once we get all the way to bag 3 as well. Oh, and also, here's a tiny version of it. That one came with the visitor center set. Do you remember the zookeeper meme where all the zookeepers were redoing this with all the animals in their zoos?
Stand down.
It was so fun.
Hey, what did I just say? Well done. I see you. Back up. Okay. Good.
Nice. So jealous. Okay, so we have been working our way through bags 10, or most of bag 10. We had finished with attaching this portion at the beginning of bag 10. And then all the way through most of bag 14, building this leg and building this other leg. And I want to show you real quick how this other leg goes on. So I'll jump ahead to this page, and it shows, this is so fun. So you can see inside we've got the cup, and then inside we have the ball joint. So the cup is going to connect to the ball joint. So this will connect right out here. Kick my water. There we go. And then me angle the camera down a little bit so you can see. This foot slides into place just like so. And then once it's positioned in place, and you can see it in the instructions how it tells you to slide it in place, then you surround it with this piece that has the plus-shaped axle thing that the axle goes through. So that's gonna go back here. And then behind that, we close it off with just a regular 1x2 light bluish gray. Then we top all of that with this wedged piece that covers up all those unique colors, making it so that it's more like kind of rocky. And then here we have this longer axle that has the stopper, and that's gonna go in the side here. It goes through those axles that we just put inside, as well as through the red parts that were at the base of the foot. And now that foot is sturdy and attached in place. So incredibly cool. You can see we did the same on this side, but you can see they're at different angles. So this one is kind of walking forward. This one is stepping, about to step forward from being behind it a little bit since it's moving in that direction. And we're gonna be building more of the feet, it looks like, later. At the rest of bag 14 is right here, and that's going to build out everything around the base here, just like we did on this one, to create more kind of grass and greenery and shrubbery and kind of gray rocky bits and everything too, to make it look like it's very natural. So let's zoom into these legs just a little bit so you can see, again, they're attached inside this rounded area with a ball and cup joint inside that allowed it to twist and move. Now this model is not going to be able to move its legs after it's attached. Like, this is all super sturdy, but that's going to give it the support that it needs to hold itself in place. So definitely worth it for the ball and cup to keep it attached, but obviously, yeah, not gonna shift around in your room. Here we've got, you can see kind of the rounded piece that has the hole in the middle. So that is a Technic piece, whoops. That is a Technic piece, and or has the hole through it so that it could be used with Technic parts as well. It is a system brick though that has some angled pieces here and here. So that angle forms the angle that we see with the leg as well, right here. And then when you flip it around, it forms the angle here that you see. So that allows it to go just like so, and the same with this guy. Really, really clever brick building techniques that use all the different snot bricks again to go all the way around the outsides, lots of brackets and everything to create lots of detail that we see all the way around these amazing bones. And I really love these 4 bricks, 1, 2, 3, 4 that you see that kind of form around the outside ring around the legs. I think that's pretty solid and looks pretty nice too. The front here, we'll see the head attached in just a little bit, and then we're continuing our way down. Lots of repetition with this build. We've been watching Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. We just finished Jurassic World, and we'll be watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom next as we continue. And I would say that that's a good way to do this build. There's a lot of repetition in little bits and pieces. So for instance, we had to build 7 of these. That said, you can see it's a very eclectic build with lots of different elements and things that are going into it. The legs are probably the most complicated part so far. So you do have to pay a little bit of attention, but it has been nice to be able to do some of the bits like building 7 of these while watching the movie. So definitely recommend. And if you can't tell, we are huge fans of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, that whole franchise. Having grown up with this as children and then moved into adulthood with the movies, we are in love with this amazing set. So cool. All right, let's continue. Oh my gosh. What is that? What is that? The most important piece from
Still
that
good matches?
set. That's what it is.
He is not gonna set that on fire. Oh my gosh.
Oh
He
my
set that on
gosh.
fire.
Fun fact, in Jurassic World, the scene with the Jurassic Park retro Jeeps, one of the Jeeps is number 18, as you can see here on the side of the Jeep, which matches the original vehicle that we saw in the Lego set, number 18, and also from Jurassic Park original movie.
Look at that. Never thought I'd see one in real life. She's beautiful.
Lego set. She is beautiful.
All right, we are at a stopping point, having just finished bag 19. And I want to show you, first off, we've got the tail, which are the last handful of bags. So I believe this was finishing bags 14 through 19. Bag 14 we got mostly through, or partway through before we attached the legs. The finishing parts of all of this, 15 and 16, we're building out all of the different rib cage pieces. Honestly, it was really fun and very satisfying. It's neat to see how they're smaller and they get larger as you go down, and they curve in, which is great. They give like a nice kind of natural bone-like curve all the way across. Of course, it's symmetrical, so you see the same on the other side. We also built this section that comes down here to have the two little arms. So this is the very front of kind of the rib cage, or like the chest part. This part felt a little clunky to me, so I'm curious on what it'll look like once we're completely finished, as the final 5 bags, or 4 of those 5 bags is going to be the head, and so there may be other parts to how this connects, but I'm curious to see what that looks like. Great use though with the ribs. We also got these 2 pieces, so this section here, and then of course the reverse section here. And one really disappointing thing that I would have to say, unfortunately, is in bag 16 for us, we were supposed to get a tan wedge piece that matches this tan wedge piece that would go here. You can see we have a white one in there, and that was from our own Lego stash. So that was a replacement piece because the bag came with this, which we do not need. So I think this was just a simple mistake that happened in the manufacturing plant. I will of course be reporting this to Lego and letting them know. Specifically bag 17 was missing that, and then another bag prior to that, I want to say it was bag 12, was missing a 2x2 plate, tan plate. So we're going to report both of those things back to Lego and make sure that that gets corrected for future ones that are before they're kind of packaged together. But it's definitely disappointing, especially when you're thinking about, I mean, any Lego set needs to have all the pieces the way that it's supposed to be. So maybe it's just a fluke, hopefully, fingers crossed that it was just ours. But of course, whenever we report these, it's helpful for us to get a sense of like, was it just mine, or were there others who had the same issues? The great news is that Lego customer service is super quick at resolving issues and super kind and very friendly. So at least that's something that'll be nice, but it was disappointing to me to not even just have like a miscolor or something, but have to find one for my stash. And of course, my stash didn't even have one of this in that light tan color. The last section would be the tail, and y'all, this is so fun. There's Philip and Penny asleep on the couch. The back of the tail, of course, it gets smaller and then gets bigger as it goes up to the top. You can see that it articulates at each joint section. There are 4 joint sections here, 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 and here. So really, really nice. Also, this thing is massive. Huge build, and is going to take up a ton of space, but we're thrilled to have this. This is going to go on top of a bookshelf in our living room, a perfect spot for it, but you definitely are going to need to make space for this should you choose to build it. The last bags 20 through 24 build out the head. Very excited about that. We're saving that for tomorrow because, as you can tell, it's bedtime. We just finished Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, so this is our 3rd Jurassic movie that we've watched while building. It's been lots of fun. And then bag 25 builds out the base that's going to have this amazing printed part there on it, as well as the 2 minifigures and a cute little scene for them. So looking forward to continuing this tomorrow and sharing all the fun with y'all.
Sick. Yeah. Did you know it?
All right, y'all, we have almost completed this entire build. Bags 20 through 24 built out the head, and before I attach the bottom of the jaw to the top of it, I wanted to show you how that works. So here we have these really cool Technic bits that connect in a way that create this perfect angle for the mouth. And on the top, you can see the amazing curves that go all the way around. Like, this is stunning. I am so impressed with the math and geometry that had to go into this in order to make this work. So like this is connected with a hinge that goes down, it rests here to keep it in place. These are connected with hinges that go down, and that creates that like perfect shaping of what you'd expect to see with a T-Rex skull. And then we've got these 4 holes here, and we've got the 4 pins here from Technic that are gonna connect. And so this should theoretically push right on, and it's going to be a little bit tough because this needs to stay sturdy, so we want it to be harder. There we go. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, perfect. So that's there. This now can open and close. Y'all, this is so cool. Okay, so this one just came off, so that's good to know. I hope it's because this pin, this axle, there we go. This axle wasn't pushed all the way through. So there we go. Okay, and I am going to take my brick separator and push those in just to make sure that they're all the way in. So you can see what I'm doing here is you can see the axle that goes in here. I just want to make sure that that's in as far as it can go into the side wall. And the same one here, you can see how it's sticking out just a tad. We'll use that to push that in. There we go. Okay, now it's a little bit more sturdy. Let's try that again. Awesome, y'all. And the joints here are made in a way that it almost feels like rubbery. Like it has incredible tension that's gonna hold it in place if we want it open. You can shake that around, it's not gonna move. Really cool. All right, now we're going to attach it. And I wanted to do this live as well with y'all as opposed to in the time lapse. So let me set this down. We have the Technic axle, and we have this gear. And we're going to put the gear on like so. And we are going to slide this in between these two here. So we'll do it like that, hopefully. And you can see, actually, let me show you. So these are gears, this one, and then these two as well. They're like really sturdy gears, and you can see the little teeth are gonna connect inside here, and that's gonna help us with rotating it, but keeping that sturdy too. So getting that in place, there we go. I'm gonna slide this in from the side. It should push straight through. And it looks like it's wanting to go down, so perfect. Okay, so this is through. And you saw how it actually slid that gray piece even down further. So I had that a little bit too high up, which is why I was struggling a bit. And then we have the other tiny gear, and that's gonna close it in on this side. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is so cool. And then I'm gonna use this piece of the brick separator to push in that axle, just to make sure that it's in all the way through. Perfect. All right, so now that we have this, let's take the camera to the side so you can see. Oh, all right, so mouth opens and closes. You can see here, I think it's gonna turn and swivel. Let's see, yep. It'll go up and down, and as it does, you hear it clicking, so that's gonna raise it and keep it locked in place. So these gears here with these teeth are keeping it locked in place, but you can go up and down, you can open and close the jaws. This is really super impressive. So the entire skeleton is done. It is enormous. This is enormous for sure. Massive, massive skeleton. Really, really cool. And now we're going to move on to bag 25, which is giving us our 2 heroes and the plate. So it's going to give us basically what goes along the front of this that shows the display.
And we have finished! And it's very cool to see that these two incredible doctors, Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, are here in this last portion, just as we got to this part in Dominion. There they are! So I want to show you real quick some cool things here. So neat features about this. Obviously we've got the printed piece, which is super cool. And it has that gold printing on it, which is nice. And we have a little prehistoric dig, archaeology dig, and they have two face prints, which is really fun. When you turn it around, there are these four kind of studs and axles that are going to slide right into these red ones. So one option for display is you can have that attach and slide in. Let's see, there we go, just like so. Whoops, sorry, Dr. Sattler. Another option though is you can unattach that, flip this around, and they added these two extra 2x6 black tiles, and those aren't necessary for the stand, but they are able to go over here and over here to cover up and make this completely smooth. And that way you can have this displayed, come on back, there you are. You can have this displayed separate from the build and have them in two different areas if you wanted to, or it can all connect. And as you can see, I'm having a hard time even getting the entire thing in the shot just because it's so massive and so cool. Love, love, love every part of this build experience. This was so incredible, y'all. All of the joints, the tail, the whole bit of it, every single bit of this is just full of incredible detail and really great and intense building techniques. So definitely expert building level techniques that you're learning. The one area that Philip and I didn't love so much is this. Not gonna lie, this part just felt a little lackluster. I don't know, something just feels a little missing. The arms, I'm not sure what it is about this, but this part I didn't love the final execution. This is such an incredible set, y'all. So, so very cool. And we had so much fun revisiting our childhood love and adulthood love of Jurassic Park, watching Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and now Jurassic World Dominion Extended Edition.
All in all, we clearly loved this build. It was so fantastic to have the experience and get to share this experience together. One or two little minor complaints that I have, these bits here can fall off pretty easily. And so you see this whole section all the way down the spine and down the tail. Though these portions, kind of in this middle section and this portion of the tail, they do bump off pretty easily when I was moving things around and attaching different things to the build. So that was one minor complaint. Another minor complaint that is specific to my model, and I've reached out to others who've been reviewing it as well, and they didn't have this experience, thankfully, but my model is missing a piece. So I got to bag 15, and I had this piece in the bag, which is not a piece that you need for the set, instead of a 4x2 wedge plate that is meant to go on this side. I also don't have that wedge plate in tan in my Lego stash, and so I had to use a placeholder of a white plate in place of it. And it is pretty obvious to me when I'm looking at it on this side. That said, Lego customer service is fantastic. So as soon as the model is available for people to purchase, I'll be making a quick phone call and having them update that for me too. You can contact them through phone. You can also contact them through the web. And actually, I might just fill out the web form. Very simple to do. Lego customer service is also very quick at resolving issues like this. And it just was a unique situation that happened with mine. So hopefully with yours it doesn't. If you do buy this set and you do run into that issue, please let me know, because I want to understand if this is a wider spread issue than we're aware of. But thankfully, again, from what I've heard from others who were reviewing the set, they did not run into that same issue. Overall, $250, it's not something to bat your eye at, right? Very expensive set for sure. It's among those adult collector sets. And I kind of look at this as like a Jurassic Park UCS set or Ultimate Collector set. Really worth it, really wonderful build. Might be something that you save up your money for, or that you save up some points for so that you can get a reduced cost on it. Maybe you wait to buy it when there's double points. That's always a great option when you're buying something this expensive too. So lots of options that you might want to consider with it since it is a pricier one. But if you love the Jurassic Park franchise and Jurassic World franchise, if you love dinosaurs and skeletons and models, this is a really fun sculptural build and an excellent display piece. Overall, when thinking about the value, one metric that a lot of people like to use is price per piece. This is actually relatively cheaper for price per piece than a lot of the other IP related sets. That said, there are some small pieces in this, like the little teeth, and other pieces that are hidden all throughout that are really tiny pieces, as well as some larger pieces as well. So price per piece is one of many metrics that people like to consider when thinking about the cost of a set. But overall, it is a little bit cheaper price per piece than a lot of the other sets that we get. So take that for what it is. Again, we loved it, but also we are huge Jurassic fans and had a wonderful time building out the entire thing. And I honestly think that you'll have a great time with it as well. So what are your thoughts? Is this a set that you'll pick up? Is it at a price range that you think is reasonable, or is it too expensive? I would love to hear from you. Drop some notes in the comments and let me know your feedback so that I, as a LEGO ambassador, am able to pass that information on to the LEGO group. It's a huge part of the role that I really love and value as an ambassador, is ensuring that your voice gets represented with the company. If you enjoyed this review and would like to purchase the set, I'd love it if you would use the link in my description. It's a great way for you to help support the growth of my content creation and support my channel. Additionally, I'd love it if you could like and subscribe. It's always wonderful to connect with more of you on here and to help others find these videos that might find it helpful too. Thanks again for tuning in, and as always, build kindness.